What's good, everyone? It's your guy, Lord Welly. I hope you guys are doing well. I know I had a bit of a delay. I was supposed to upload the video later on last night, but been uploading some more stuff for a future type of content. I know you guys have been requesting like some games and all stuff. It will come over time. Don't worry, my dear friends. Don't worry about it. I'll just have to upgrade and find a few good ideas in order to conjure up other stuff, because in all honesty I was thinking of expanding the channel, not gonna restrain it in only one subject. I was it intended to. I was thinking once the channel grows, like we'll go past like the 500s, the thousands, maybe from there I was thinking, but maybe we'll start off soon enough, who knows. You'll be in touch anyhow. Today's video should have been uploaded last night, and it was none other than requested by my man Damien. You requested it, the awesome on Chris Masters, right? In all honesty, Chris Masters, I never had a personal problem with him. He always came off to me as a cool guy, as someone who you'd get along with pretty easily. He's not a mark like those jabronis nowadays. So without any further ado, I'll give you a shout out for this one, Damien. You'll get your gift. I know it's a bit late, but been having been uploading stuff and all in order to get future content. I hope you'll pay it no mind, bro. Anyhow, let's start off this. Let's start off with the topic at hand, shall we? 19 reasons why Chris Masters is awesome. Oh, and later on, you're gonna have a gift. I know I was gonna hold back on the CM. I was waiting for the CM Punk thing to. He'll do something bitchy, but with his bitch ass of a wife coming back, oh boy, and him acting like a cuck. Perfect reason for me to bury this bitch ass. I'll bury him later on. As for the Roman video, maybe I'll do it on the Friday just to piss him off even more. Anyhow, it's not. Let's go back to the topic, shall we? I got a little carried away. Pay it no mind. Reason number one why Chris Masters is awesome. Still looks in good shape to this day. I know back then he looked roided up and something. Obviously, because of his physique, unless you'd be banging the gym really hard, or you'd be on roids. You can't get to that unless of course you've been training for like God knows how long. But anyway, hats off to you, Mr. Masters. Now we'll move on to reason number two. The guy actually has a good mindset. If you look at him, he always came off to me, in all honesty, from what I remember about the guy Chris Masters. I didn't follow exactly his stuff after WWE, but what I can see from Twitter and all, he seems like a guy that has a good mindset, actually. He's not like those thin skinned snowflakes nowadays. He's like one of the cool ones, like let's say Val Venus, let's say even Bob Holly. He's actually one of the cool ones. Not like the trash Noseman favors nowadays. Anyway, reason number three. He's actually good on the mic. You'll feel him. He's at ease on the mic, and he understands how to make things work, and that's a sign of a good talent. A talent right there. Reason number four. His theme song was actually good and fitted the character that he was playing. I remember around that time. It will be. I know this reason will be later on illustrated, but I'll give you a spoiler. His his name was the masterpiece, was it? And his theme song actually fitted the nickname and the persona type. So hats off to whoever came up with that idea. Reason number five had a unique finish to him in a way. I know it was the precursor to the Hurt Lock of Bobby Lashley, but at the time for a guy of that caliber, hats off to you. Reason number six seems like a reliable soldier. From what I can remember, I never heard of him like bitching and complaining and all. And in all interviews, you'll get the type of a vibe from the guy that he's a very well mannered and well educated and modest type of person, not an arrogant like let's say a CM Punk or a Cody Rhodes who will like suck themselves off as if like they're God's gift, even though they bathe in mediocrity. Even though Cody might be slightly better than Punk, and that's not saying much because actually, sure, I may hate Stardust and all, but he's at least a competent wrestler, while Punk is a mediocre one. Punk only has his good thing on the mic. He's nothing but hype and full of shit. Anyway, I'm gonna be enjoying roasting your bitch ass, Phil. Don't worry, I'm gonna bury the living fuck out of you later on. Let's go back to Masters. Reason number seven. Yes, we're at reason number seven. Gives the impression of a cool person. Sure, I'm not saying I know Chris Masters personally. No, absolutely not. But the vibe you'll get out of the guy, you'll get the vibe that he's a cool person, someone who's like you could get along with pretty easily, and someone like let's say you were to meet or whatever, or you were to know as a friend, you'd be enjoying your time talking about like stuff, cool stuff, and all. You're not gonna be talking like with the likes of a Bucks or Kenny Olivier. Oh, did you watch the new Hakuma or whatever? Sure, I'm not coming off as a hypocrite. I was an anime type, but not those new ones. I'm a bit of an older generation. And in most other things, I'm kind of an older generation type. So pay it no mind. I mean, that's the type of impression you'll get out of someone like Chris Masters. That he's pretty cool and you'd be enjoying chatting with him and all. Reason number eight. I know it correlates with the reason number three and four. I know it correlates with them in a way, but he made actually good work with his character at first, the masterpiece. It was a good character that could have been done way better, in my opinion. Much like Drew McIntyre's earlier version, the chosen one, could have been done much better. Now we'll move on to reason number nine. His team with Carlito back in 2006 actually wasn't that bad. Sure, it's not on the level of the Hardys and all, or Edge and Christian and all, but compared to like teams later on, like Lanscade and Murdoch or whatever, that team was actually competent if you look by comparison. Because you had someone like Carlito, who's actually a very talented person, and Chris being a talented person as well. So they were to actually make it work because of how they were booked at that time. Reason number 10. Chris Masters is actually a safe worker from the looks of it. I don't remember hearing about him any time of injuring others or injuring himself or whatever. He wrestles a smart style, much like a Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and all those good ones. But the marks, no, they'd be saying, oh, they do like 5 moves, they do 3 moves. So does your schmucks. They do 3 moves and they do them each time worse. How about that? You don't call them out on that because they're your heroes. They came from the indies. They wrestled thousands of years and getting beat up. Yet you have people like Logan Paul being better than them. How's that? Dimwits. Now we'll move on to reason number 11 about Chris Masters. Doesn't I know it correlates with the reason number 6 and 7, but something you can deduce from the guy is that he doesn't come off as a thin-skinned snowflake like most of those jabronis, like the Noseman favorites. At least let's say you were to disagree with him on an argument, you're chatting and all, you were to disagree, and you'll demonstrate how and why you think your argument is right. He'd be like the type of guy to comprehend and not throw a hissy fit, like those marks. And in a way illustrates how much of a humble and modest type of person he is. Reason number 12. His debut was actually pretty good. I remember it was against Stevie Richards, was it? Was around the time of WrestleMania 21, around something around those lines, if memory serves me right. The guy actually looked like a star from the get go. Like, I can make something out of that guy. I like build him like a reflection of perfection type of gimmick, like the Mark Jindrak one, or like have him like a snobbish type of character. He would make it work because he's a talented person. Hats off to you, Mister Mordetsky or whatever your name is. If I pronounced it wrong, you'll correct me on it. Now we'll move on to reason number 13. His nickname was actually cool and actually meant was related to the character, I mean. Because you have him like being the masterpiece, much like you had Brock Lesnar, the Beast, or like Big Show being a giant, or you'd have like Undertaker being the Dead Man, etc. Those nicknames were actually cool and they fitted the character. It's not like nowadays you'll have some schmuck like a CM Punk calling himself the best in the world, while he's only the best in the world at being a whiny bitch and being a delusional jackass. Or like you'll have like schmucks like Seth Rollins calling himself, "I am the visionary, the revolutionary." What is your vision? Low ratings, and your revolution is how to slay them? Is that what? Is that what, Seth? Is that what it is, Seth? Huh? Jackass. Anyhow, that's not about those two jabronis. I know I've already did a sucks on Rollins, and CM Punk will be coming, and oh boy, I'm gonna be having so much fun ripping a hole in you, flimsy Phil. Now we'll move on to reason number 14. Correlates with the other reasons, but the guy, in all honesty, was actually a competent heel. With his like the masterpiece character and him coming off flexing and flaunting himself off and giving you the vibe of like someone who's arrogant and he thinks he's better than you. But at least with the looks and the attributes that he has, you could make it understandable and you can relate to that. Much like, let's say, with the JBL when he turned from Bradshaw to JBL, as an example. But no, those marks are nowadays are too stupid to understand that. They don't call that character work. What they'll call character work is someone like Sami Zayn throwing temper tantrums in order to get what he wants, or like Punk being the hypocritical, delusional jackass he is, or Dancing Queen Seth Rollins, or Seth Galins, or Holins, as I call him usually, Holins. I use the term Ho plus Rollins, so I thought I'd fuse it and turn him into Seth Holins. You'll get something like that, or like some sort of a cringe ball, like Rhea with her "mommy this, mommy that, mommy's on top, mommy's on top." Go fuck yourself, lady. No one has Oedipus complex like you do. Anyhow, let's go back to Masters. At least Masters, the guy, he can make his thing work, and that's a sign of a competent talent. Reason number 15 was actually a good mid carder and could have been a good upper mid carder, like having him like compete for like IC belts or US. Actually, a competent wrestler, and could have done, in all honesty, a lot more, better, a lot better. I know in 2011 his contract ran out, and in 2007 was it he got like fired because of the steroid scandal and all at that time. But in my opinion, could have been done much more when he came back later on. Now we'll get to reason number 16. Can work with just about anyone. You, no matter who you pair him with, you can get the impression from the guy that he's gonna make it work, and he'll be able to come up with good ideas. Let's say, as an example, I know I'm not a wrestler, but let's say I was, and I was to have a match with like Chris Masters. We'll be arguing, "Hey Chris, what do you think of that spot? Blah 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 blah." He'd be like, "Yeah, man, whatever. How about this? How about that? Yeah, use that. I use this. How about that? Sure." You'd be able to come up with an understanding and a good agreement, much like with an R Truth or LA Knight or a Cross or many of the ones I did awesomes on. Not like those thin skinned snowflakes like the Noseman favorites. Anyhow, reason number 17. His name as a wrestler was actually cool. I know the name Chris Mordetsky, Christopher whatever Mordetsky, is not gonna come off as a wrestler's name, more like a person, normal person. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's much like the case of Jacob Fatu. Should have been repackaged instead of like Jacob Fatu and his team is like Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Solo Sakahoa, Jobber Fatu, Lucky Samoa, Tala Tonga, and whatever. Should have been repackaged as a Lucky Samoa or whatever, like my man the hater said on his Jacob Fatu sucks. Which, in his reasons, he's absolutely right. Because Jacob Fatu is a manufactured product, much like Stardust and all those other jobbers. Reason number 18. It's been illustrated previously, but I'm sure you've already figured it out. I watched a bit of his interview of the Chris Van Fish Fillet, Chris Van Vliet. To those of you who know him, Van Fish Fillet as a TWRP, the TWRP community. I watched the interview of Chris Masters, and from there, you could tell that the guy is actually a humble and honest person and someone you could respect and not respect the way that Cody, I respect you, I appreciate you, I I love you. No, not that type. Respect as a person, as you respect someone for being cool. And last but not least, the final reason, reason number 19, he's not a mark like Noseman's fave. At least you'll get the vibe out of him because when he'll be illustrating his the wrestlers he likes, they actually have something cool. They're not about all about oh the work great, the showman, like Gunther says it, the showman. Yes, but the showmans are better than you, bitch. You mediocre schmuck. Even us as fans were better than you, Gunther. Yet you flaunt yourself. Oh, the man is sacred. Shut up, you jobber, you suck. Only Noseman pushes you because you're his black and gold creation. One of his black and gold creations, I mean. But if it was up to me, oh boy, I'd be putting you in a turkey suit. It'll be the gay turkey man, and you'll be jobbing. You'll be a jobber. Like even getting wedgies from the Sami Zayn or something of that caliber. Anyhow, overall, I think that sums up about it for the awesomes on Chris Masters. And as I've illustrated before, to those of you who asked me about other content, it will be uploaded over time. I'll just have to fix my hardware and all, and upgrade a bit, so I'll be able to move on with other stuff. Don't you worry, guys. This channel will expand. It will not be one dimensional like Noseman. Absolutely not. We'll talk about other stuff like the societies, movies, and TV shows. Even though I'm more of the older version, I'm not that much into the newer ones. I'm more into the older series like the 90s, the 2000s, early 2000s, and all. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing, as well as also the we'll be doing like opinions on cars and how which version to get and advices on how to start as a rookie driver and all those other stuff like working out advices and motivational stuff and all. That channel will be multi-dimensional. Don't you worry, guys. You got my word on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe and help this channel grow. Because if we're gonna get rid of those nerds, we'll have to make this channel grow, much like the TWRPs and all. We gotta gain more notoriety. So with that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.